Hello everyone. So in this video we will be talking about variables in Python and some data types in Python. In previous video we have learned the first program in Python, which is hello world. Now in this video we will be knowing what are variables and what are data types. So first of all, coming to variables in Python, suppose I write a equals 10. What does it mean? That I am assigning a. If we write a equals to 10, what does it mean? It means that I am assigning a value. Suppose here this is a and I am assigning 10 as a value of a. Okay, here a is called the variable. So what is a variable? So variable is basically the storage for any data, or variable is a thing to which we assign some value or some data, anything like that. Okay, so here a is the variable. If we again write b, which is like 20, I have assigned value 20, and if we just write a plus b, and if we run the program by clicking shift plus enter, then it will give me an output. Here you can see one thing, I haven't written any print a plus b or something, but it has given me an output. So the last line, so here the last line will be the output if I don't write print statement. Okay, you can see here out, this is called the output, and it will always take the last line for any cell. Suppose I have written one more statement over here, like a minus b, which should give me minus 10, but it will not print anything. Why it will not print anything? Because I haven't write print here. So in this case the output will be the last line which I have written. Here a plus b is the last thing that I have written. So if I run this thing, a minus b will not be printed, or it will not get the output thing, but a plus b will be executed because it is the last line. So always remember, if you don't write the print statement, then the last line of the cell will be executed as an output. Let's run it and see it. So if I run it, see here output, you can see also output number. First of all, first time I have outputted one thing, and this is the second time, so it is showing output 2. And as I said to you before, it will only execute the last line. So the last line is a plus b equals to 30, a plus b, which is 10 plus 20, which is 30. So it is showing me 30. Now what if I want to show both of the output? Okay, so in that case, always write print statement. Okay, so if you write print a minus b, and then if we write print a plus b, then it will show me both of the value. But this time, as we have written the print statement, it will not show me this thing, this out to thing, because I am printing that thing. So it will not show me the output thing. Okay, so what do I mean? Just run this program, and here you can see it has given me output. First of all, the a minus b output is minus 10, and then there is a plus b, which is 30. It is not showing me any output because I have already written the print statement. That is why. Now coming to some rules in the naming of variables. So here I will be writing a naming of variables in Python. Okay, so naming of variables in Python. So there are some basic naming principle in case of variables. Like in naming, you can name variable using uppercase. Uppercase means like a, b, c, etc. Lowercase like small a, small b, c, like this. Or you can also use underscore, this symbol, and you can use digit as well, but there are some regulations through it. Okay, digit like 0 to 9. Okay, 0 to 9. Now coming to some rules and regulations. So you can write this is perfectly valid if you start with like uppercase. Suppose a, b, c equals 10, it is perfectly valid. But this is perfectly valid, all these are all uppercase. and the thing that I have written here, this is called comment. Okay, you can just uh, insert a hash, and then whatever you have write, that will be a comment, because it will not get executed in the code, but it will create a very good note for you. So use comments as much as you can, okay, to make the code more understandable. Okay, so these are the uppercase. Now coming to lowercase, you can always write a variable like abc equals to suppose 20. These are all lowercase, so here I am writing a comment that this is lowercase, and if we write this is perfectly valid. And if we start with underscore, like underscore abc equals to 20, let's say 30, this is starting with underscore, this is also valid, but you cannot start with a digit. If I write 1 abc equals to 40, this is not valid. Okay, this is not valid. If I run this, it will show me an error because this is an invalid syntax, and this is not valid in case of variable naming. Okay, so you cannot start with a digit, you cannot start a variable naming with digit, and you cannot also start with special characters like @ or hashtag anything. This is also not valid. Okay, you cannot start with a special character like @ or hashtag, etc. So these are not valid, but you can always start with like capital letters, then small letters, or you can start with underscore as well, but you cannot start with a letter or special characters. Okay, so always keep this in mind whenever you are writing a variable in case of Python. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. Now coming to some data types. Now let's talk about data types. Now what do you mean by data types? Okay, so as you can see, there are different type of data, like some numbers are like integers like 1, 2, 3. There are also numbers like 1.23, which are called as decimal or floating numbers. And then there is double quote, and if you write anything under it, like I'm writing my name, this is also called a different type of data types. Okay, so in case, what happens in case of Java or C++? So in case of Java or C++, you have to explicitly write what is the data type. Like if I write a equals to 1, as we know that 1 is an integer. Okay, so I have to mention int a equals to 1. Or if I write b equals to 2.3, as you already know, this is a decimal number which is called float. Wait a second. So I have to write float b equals to 2.3. But in case of Python, you don't need to explicitly mention what is the type of the data. Python is so smart that it will automatically understand what is the data type. Okay, so if I talk about Java or C++, okay, in that case a integer like int a equals to 10, if I write, then in integer, it will create as an integer, it will take 4 bytes. Okay, like a, if this is a and it contains 10, a integer will always take 4 bytes. Okay, 4 bytes, and the value 10, it will be stored in this as a binary value. Okay, this is what happens when you are writing this. Okay, so integer take 4 bytes, and as well as float also take 4 bytes. Okay, in C++, Java, and every case. Okay, but the main difference between C++, Java and Python is that in case of Python, you don't need to explicitly mention that you are using integer or floating type or string. Okay, I'm showing you some examples. So if I write a equals to 1, what I told you, that in case of Python you don't need to explicitly mention the data type. Okay, so if I write a equals to 1, and if then there is a special function in Python which is called type. If I write type and then a bracket and 1, we check type when we want to know that what the variable is containing. So if we write type of a, and if we just run the program, then it will give me that it is an integer. And if I write b equals to 2.3, as we know it is a float, and if I want to check it, just write type of b and it will give us float. Okay, and if I write c equals to my name, suppose c equals to, and there is a double quote or single quote, whatever you can give. If I write my name and if I check the type of the data, then it will give me that this is a string. Okay, I hope you guys got the point. Now coming to another thing in Python. Okay, suppose I have written a equals to 10, a equals to 20. In Python always stores the address. Okay, suppose a equals to 10, then there will be a storage here. Wait a second. Suppose I have written a equals to 10, and then I am a equals to 10. Then what happens is there is a value 10 in an address. Suppose this is an address which is 100. What a will do, it will always point to the address 100. Okay, it will always point to the address 100 in case of Python. Okay, now a is 10. If I write a equals to 20, Python will create another storage, or in another place it will create a storage, and it will give 20. It will assign the value 20. Then what a will do, a will not point to the address, then a will point to the address which containing 20. Okay, and suppose then I write a equals https, like https, then again here will be a value which will be creating which contains https. Then a will again not point to this, and it will point to the address of https. Okay, so this is how the data types and the different storage works in case of Python. I hope you got the point. If you have any confusion, please let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video.